he says, "Oh, hey, by the way, I have your phone." And I went, "Oh, okay, well, no big deal." And he goes, "Hey, so if your phone rings and I answer it, this is Jeff, I won't be lying." I'm like, "Right, same thing for you. So if I answer yours, it's all good."
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. It is 3:00. We'll do a roll call. I'm Ray Mitchell, the chair of the Civil Service Commission.
Ryan McManus, co-chair of the Civil Service Commission. First time I got to say that, Ray.
Hey, how about that? And Chief?
Deputy Chief Jeff Young. Glad to be here.
Well, I guess we'll move on then to our action items. The first action item A is to approve the minutes of the March 4th Civil Service Commission special meeting. And Brian, have you had an opportunity to review that?
I have no changes, Ray.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept it as written.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
There we go. The second item, item B on the action items, is to approve our entry level police officer eligibility list. Have you had an opportunity to look at that, Brian?
I did. I have no questions, Ray.
Okay, I have no questions either. Is there anything you need to bring up on it, Julie?
Nope.
Okay, I make a motion, we accept the list as written.
I make a motion to second that.
I make a motion to vote. All in favor?
I make a motion to say aye.
Okay.
A lot of motion. This is the most efficient commission in the city. You know that, right,
Yes, yes, indeed. On new business, Julie and I were talking before the meeting started. You know, we have the lateral eligibility list, then we have the entry level, but now we have a new one that she was sharing with me called the entry advanced. And Julie, can you share with Brian in case what that is?
Yeah, so we updated the civil service rules a few months ago to include a third category. And entry level advanced will be candidates who have completed the state basic criminal justice academy, but haven't completed a probation period with an agency yet.
Ray? Okay.
So they have a little bit of experience in that they've been at the academy, but they really don't have any street experience. So it's a nice middle ground between folks that can hit the ground running versus entry-level candidates that will take about a year to get on the road.
So would that position go straight into an FTO type of role once they were hired, if they were hired?
Chief, you want to answer that?
Yes, they would. And Julie, I do have a quick question on that too. When we talk about the entry level advanced, are we talking about potentially out-of-state candidates as well?
Out of state's a little trickier because we have to check with CJTC to see if they have to complete an equivalency academy. And if they would be eligible for that.
So what I'm thinking is if we were to get a candidate from, say, Texas, Arizona, or California, and I know all three of those states are approved through CJTC, if we just happen to get a candidate that was moving for some other reason, they completed, say, California Highway Patrol's Academy or whatever, would we be able to use that for them as well?
We would need to check the CJTC requirements with their recent update. So I don't want to speak to that without looking at that because their change is so recent.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yeah.
So yes, to answer your question, Mr. McManus, they would go right into the field training officer program, and they're looking at approximately 13 weeks of field training for that.
Okay.
What a great update.
Now
More agility.
I understand that we have one lateral that's in the process now, and they're going to come on board when, Julie, do you recall?
Hopefully in the next few weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks.
But
For
everybody
the one lateral that we have, we're hoping for probably 2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh, nice. But every officer I've talked to, we've talked about a 6 to 7 officer shortfall by the end of the year. And the way the pipeline, we could be a year out before we even see any of these folks once they get through the state academy. So I guess my question to you, Jeff, is how much is that going to impact the department, or are we going to be just some things we're not going to be able to do, or?
Well, so as it stands right now, we're looking at about 8 vacancies for officer positions right now. We are currently aggressively recruiting a lot of different people. We did have an individual who was one of those entry-level advanced give us a call last week. So we'll be testing him as soon as we can. Then we're going to start recruiting at various locations. And we can post on some social media applications to be able to generate more interest and outreach. And once we do that, we're expecting to see a few more people start coming our way. Lake Stevens is a beautiful community, and we do have some advantages over some of the other agencies, even though you might see some other competing agencies that have higher bonuses or something like that. We do have some other distinct advantages at Lake Stevens PD. So we're hoping to capitalize on some of that. One of the things I can tell you is we're going to have some other recruiting swag that we're looking to get, like some bumper stickers with a QR code that we can put on our cars and some of the other city cars, where any interested applicant can hit that QR code. It'll take them to the webpage and they can go through it individually to figure out where they fall on that. And with some of the other agencies, you're of course looking at some flux, and it's all this competition right now. So we're hoping to get some other laterals from some other agencies that are experiencing some instability within their agencies. So hopefully within the next few weeks, we'll be able to give you a significant update on that stuff.
Good. Now, how large is our line officers? How many line officers do we have? Could you say 8?
Or, I'm sorry, for patrol officers,
Yes.
we have approximately 23 patrol officers.
Okay.
And then we have 3 people assigned to investigations right now, with 2 school resource officers. We're sitting at about 38 total commissioned officers right now.
Okay. So if we look at a shortage of 8, and we currently have 23, so let's round it up to 32. So we're approximately 25% short.
Roughly, yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like that with a lot of other departments too.
Uh-huh.
Believe it or not, there's another department that is currently short 15 officers. So we're not doing any worse than anybody else right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hey, Chief, I have a question for you on that. So if the city council's already funded for these positions, so are you able to tap into that funding for overtime for the existing officers, or is that a different line item?
It's a separate line item.
Separate line item. Okay. Sounds good. Well, in addition to a great community, a beautiful lake, you can also use a really good civil service commission in your recruiting. Feel free. I'll throw
You
it
know
out
what? I'm going to make a note on that. Put awesome civil service commission as part of our recruiting flyer.
Grease lightning, make it fast. Good decision making. There you go.
Well, and Julie, can you share with the Chief and Brian where we're at on our next commissioner, or
Yeah, so there's been an application to fill the vacant position on the Civil Service Commission, and the clerks referred that to I believe to the city council for them to do an interview. So we should be hearing an update in the next week or 2.
so maybe by the next meeting we'll have a new commissioner.
Yeah, maybe.
Great.
One other thing that I just want to throw out there, I attended Ron and Cindy Brooks's farewell party over here, and Ron Brooks's daughter is a Seattle police officer. I didn't know that at the time, but she was in uniform, and I talked to her, and I said, it'd sure be nice if you followed in your dad's footsteps and came to Lake Stevens. So Julie says that's perfectly all right for me doing that. So
Absolutely. Yeah, if you know anyone who'd be a great addition to the team, you're more than welcome to recruit them.
well, we have Warbuses on here, so we might as well get the Brooks in here. Any other new business?
Not for me,
Jeff,
right?
anything? Go ahead, Brian.
No new business for me.
Jeff, anything you want to share?
Nothing else that we can really have to talk about right now. But one of the things I would like to do with the commission is invite you out for ride along so you can see what our guys do. If you haven't been on a ride along, it might be something good for you to do, just so you see what the patrol officers do, and you can talk to any other members of our department while you're at it.
Yeah, well, I must tell you, the other day over here by Station 1, the fire department, one of the officers was over there, and I'm not going to tell his name, but I stopped and talked to him, and he was involved in that recent hostage situation up in Monroe. And, it just makes my heart feel so good when our officers go to other agencies to help out where there's hostage negotiation or, you know, any of that sort of stuff. I'm really proud to be a citizen of Lake Stevens, and the police department just makes me prouder.
And we appreciate hearing that. We do have some extremely talented officers that are very well-rounded and diverse in their abilities. So it's a great department to be with, and I'm definitely honored and thrilled to be a part of it.
Yeah, good.
Hey, Chief,
Okay,
sorry, Ray,
Brian?
real quick. I had a real quick question. When you say we're down 8 head count, is that an actual 8 hard 8, or do we have some retirements coming up that we're bouncing on that 8 number, or is that just a hard, we're down 8 right now?
So right now it's a hard 8. So
Okay.
there's been some positions that were added by council over the last couple of years. So it's a hard 8 right now. If we were to have any other retirements or unexpected departures, then we would be down even more.
Okay, thank you.
Now, also, Jeff, on that same vein, we're not allowed, if we know an officer, maybe he's told somebody, his chain of command, that he's gonna retire, we're not able to front load that person and go out and get another officer. So when that guy leaves, you've got somebody trained, ready to go into that spot. We're not allowed to do that, are we?
There are ways that we can do that. I just don't know that we have the council's approval for it right now. So that's another thing that Chief Azizo and I are going to be talking about and presenting that to council to get the approval to front load it. For example, like with Ron Brooks, and we'll use him very specifically because we know that he's already retired and he's out of our city. If when we know that there's a retirement coming like that, we could go and ask, can we backfill this position so that way, say 3 months out, when that position does become vacant, the following week we have a person that's in that position already.
Now, is that a funding issue?
It's an approval issue with funding on top of it. So it's kind of a blend of issues. We have to make sure that we have the funding, number one, but number two, that we have the approval to do it.
Yeah. 'Cause I know in this environment, it's so competitive to get officers. It seems like it'd certainly be to our advantage to be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree completely. So again, Chief Azizo and I will be talking and figuring out how to present that to council.
Okay, great.
Council's
Well,
pretty
maybe,
open to that stuff. I think now's the time to be creative, right? Especially we're in uncertain, unprecedented times in some respects. So councils always seem to be pretty, if you spell it out for them, they're pretty good about approving stuff. So I think you'll have good luck there.
Yeah, and in this case, we did have the Commander Assessment Center prior to his retirement, and then the Sergeant's Assessment Center planning for those backfills. So we had those lists ready to go.
Perfect.
So that we were able to move quickly to fill those.
Smart. Very smart.
okay, any other new business? If not, I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, there you go. Thanks, folks.
This is like the most control I have in my entire week, every week. Just so you guys know. I love these meetings.
Well,
Actually
I
get
figured
them
you'd be
accomplished.
down here because I drove by your house. I didn't see your truck.
I had to run up and get my daughter at school. She needed a ride home today. And, between my 3 jobs, it's a 4-ring circus over here, right? So someday I'll get down there one of these days.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. We'll
Thanks.
see you later.
So I just need to sign one of these. They're the same.